and good morning to my viewers, those who are listening and watching. Welcome to this first episode of Conversations That Matter, the Guyana Talk Space. We are going to be discussing very exciting matters, exciting topics that are very concerning in our society. We know that the society is pockets of different families, and families are the unit of our society. And if anything goes wrong with our family, then the society is in trouble. There have been numerous, uncountable domestic violence in Guyana, and we, myself, and my co hosts have come up with a brilliant initiative, an idea called Shield Her Guyana, where we are here to protect victims. Most of them are female, and also empower men who are the silent sufferers of these domestic violence. So we're opening the door to many interactive sessions for us. And I hope this will be a dawn of a brilliant tomorrow. Thank you. I am Dr. Yusuf Abdullah, a general practitioner, and today is a co host, a guest, Ms. Stephanie,
Amazing.
Ms. Stephanie Monasin. She will be answering some of the questions that are concerning. Uh, Ms. Stephanie, you're welcome to this program.
Thank
You're welcome. Over the past couple of months in Guyana, we've been seeing very bad situations as it concerns our families, and domestic violence has been in the rise. And we, of course, everybody knows about the young man who shot his wife and then shot his son and then shot himself. And then we also heard about the other one that brutally murdered his wife. And these have been recurring issues. And we are here to ask these questions that people dare not ask. What could be responsible for this once upon a time lovey dovey relationship between a man and a woman, and then suddenly hatred takes or subvert that relationship to the point that somebody wants to kill?
I think that this happens because, okay, so life is not easy.
Mhm.
Everybody has a responsibility.
Yeah.
A woman's responsibility is in the home, to take care of the kids, to take care of the husband, and still work. The man's responsibility is to be strong, to protect, to provide. And more often, people don't see each other as, you know what, I understand you had a hard day, and put yourself in the other person's shoes to say, you know what, maybe she had a hard day, maybe the child was screaming all day, maybe she had to work, depending on the situation at hand. And the female, on the other hand, the wife would not be understanding enough to say what, maybe he didn't get through with whatever deal he went to do today. Maybe he's not coming home with the amount of money to give to me.
Mhm.
She's not understanding, she's not putting herself in his shoes. She is always in on the receiving end. Okay, you have to give me, you have to bring home, let's say, $40,000 a day. You have to give me flowers, you have to treat me like this, you have to do this for the child. As soon as you come home, you're supposed to pick up this child, without thinking maybe he didn't make his goal
Well,
to bring home that amount of money. What if he only has 10,000 to give you? Are you going to be upset? And so there's a breakdown with communication. Nobody tries to understand each other anymore because of the issues that they both are, going
going
through.
through.
And when you have to tell your husband, you know what, I think we need counseling because we're not seeing eye to eye anymore. We don't go for dinner once a week. You're not as loving towards me. Maybe you have somebody else.
Mhm.
And The man will say, you know what, I don't need counseling. I can deal with my own problems. I don't have to tell everybody what is wrong with us. This is the matter for us in here. And when he says that, now she's afraid. She can't even call mommy and say, well, mommy, this is happening. And if she does call mommy, she might get the wrong advice because of what mommy is accustomed to. She wants you to now go through
What she
so
went through.
what she went through because she thinks it's okay. It's okay. He can hit you every now and then because he gives you his entire salary. Um, you have to put up with the children screaming and crying when you come home from work because I had them all day for you. Now it's your turn. So everybody has to play a role the in trying to understand what is really going on. And that's where the breakdown is. Everybody's angry, everybody is aggravated with situations that are very simple.
Mhm.
Nobody's taking time to process anything anymore because of society and what they expect you to do. And I'm supposed to be like this, and I'm supposed to be pretty, and I'm supposed to have nice nails, and I'm supposed to have fancy hair. And then you spend all this time in the salon and you don't cook. And he's like, I'm supposed to have money. I'm supposed to drive a fancy car. And the car is not working, and I have to get another car because she will now want look at another man
Mhm.
who has more possessions than I do. So if we don't talk, we wouldn't know where we are.
And then gradually this start bringing some distance between the man and the woman
Exactly,
until it get to a
exactly. And
point
she
where
will,
they become so, indifferent towards each other.
then they don't know each other
They don't
anymore.
know each
They don't
other
have the
anymore.
same
And
goals. They
then
don't have the same
hatred
feeling.
begin to creep in.
Exactly. And here comes this idiot again. He doesn't have any money to give to me because he gave the other woman outside. And here is this one. She spent all day on the salon. Look at her. So,
Wow. So the other thing is, how would you describe the general attitude of Guyanese society towards domestic violence today?
well, the attitude of Guyanese society. So we see something on Facebook and we're trying to play the video just to see how he killed
He
the
killed them.
woman because you want to see something excite. No, you should not have. You should be. You should have a different mindset. You should not be looking at other people to see where they erred and what happened in their family.
Mhm.
Deal with your own family. You have issues of your own that can escalate to that. But no, we just want to see that the neighbor doing bad so that we could feel good about ourselves. We don't care. So you hear that the husband beating her and like, oh, he beating her again. That's good because she was on the corner
Mhm.
talking to Jack or whatever.
And the other day, I saw on Facebook, there was an incident of a guy who was literally punching a woman. I don't know if you got to see it. And somebody was videoing that. And the first question that I asked, because when I went through the comments, I didn't see anybody who was asking, who is that is videoing this? You know, so this person took his time or her time videoing these incidents. They didn't try to call the police or didn't try to do something. The guy was literally punching this woman, fell her to the ground, and was really punching her until a police officer there was this police traffic close by who came by, and as soon as the guy saw it, and he ran away. I don't know if you got to see that,
I
you
didn't
know?
see that video, but
Yeah,
I saw other videos. I
yes,
saw,
somebody is usually
yeah, and
videoing
there's a
this.
nice video with the proper lighting,
Yeah,
and you can hear the sound, and they're all focused on capturing this horrific
the
experience that this woman
experience.
is going through. And instead of you now, there's no humanity anymore. We just want to have likes. And I
Exactly.
could post the best video with the best lighting and sound, and I can go and do it again. So you're just going around looking for bad things to happen so that you can capture it. That shouldn't be it. You shouldn't be going around looking for these things. If it should happen next to you, you should try and do something about it. Because I'm thinking, if I save somebody today from some other family,
Hmm.
they have a family home, they have mother, father, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody can save a family member of mine
Mm-hmm.
when I'm not around. So nobody is thinking like that. There's no thought of reciprocity that, you know what, if I do good, good will come back to me.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks like that anymore.
Sad. This is a very important question. It says, what role does poverty and unemployment play in fueling family conflict and crisis?
Oh well, if I had a man that didn't work and I had to work and provide for the family and I'm there with the pants, as you say, I'm the one with the pants because I have to provide and I have to step up
Hmm.
as a man, it will tell on me after a while because he's like, what they say, a waste man.
Okay.
He's not making any sense. He's dead weight. And then I will want to show off now because I have all this money. And then I will have a different group of friends.
Hmm.
And he will now get aggravated and one day just come and do something to me because I'm belittling him. I am cutting him at the root.
Hmm.
He's no longer a man. I am basically telling him, you're worthless to me.
Hmm.
Without saying you're worthless to me, actions can
Speaks. Yeah.
exactly can scream.
Yeah.
And it's not about who earns more
More.
money. What we have to do is, okay, so your husband doesn't have a job. Maybe you can talk to somebody. Maybe you're connected. You know what? Could you help my husband? So. But there's always this power play
Hmm.
where you feel if you earn more, you have the upper hand in the family.
Yeah.
Where I don't believe that should be. When you could be a power couple,
Hmm.
when you could support your man, your husband, and help him to come up to your standards, and when you give him a foundation, maybe
Hmm.
he can shoot past you and provide and protect and do all the things you want him to do, but you
Yeah.
have to help. You can't just sit down and say, well, oh, it's a waste man. And then the man on the other hand has to have the mentality, you know what, I'm not going to stay down, I'm not going to be a waste man, I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to do what I have to do to provide
For my family.
for my family.
But that the case would be different if it was a man that was working and have all the money and would he's going to take care of the woman. But once the woman becomes independent, she's richer than the man, becomes a different case scenario.
Of course, if the woman is making more money, she will now want to show
Show
off
up and
and roll with a different crowd and
okay.
have different friends and male friends with money. But you're not looking at the male side now. When the male is providing for the family and he's now thinking, she has to subdue to me. I'm the alpha in this relationship.
Hmm.
I earn the money. She has to do what I say. No, that's not supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
So if let's say he's making the money, she's a homemaker. He comes home and she has curry chicken and roti.
Hmm.
Now you know roti is a thing that you have to take your time to make.
Absolutely.
But he now, because he was on the road, he wants rice.
Hmm.
He will now be upset. I tell you to make roti. I ever told you that?
Okay.
I want rice
Okay.
because he wants what he wants, but
Hmm.
he expects her to read his mind when he's
Without
on the road. Just
communicating.
because he's this breadwinner,
Okay.
she's supposed to she's supposed to have a manual.
Okay.
And this is what my man wants and at this time of day, and this is what my man likes, and this is what I must do, and this is what I must say. That's how men behave. Well, some of them
Hmm.
who are breadwinners and believe that this is the alpha thing, this machista thing in Spanish,
Hmm.
this is what
Domineering
happens.
thing. Okay.
But what I've noticed too is that Guyanese males, men have that mentality towards women. You will not say, well, babe, let me pay for you to do a course. You can do cooking. I can open a little snack it for you so that you can earn your own money. No, they don't want her to have that earning power, that independence, because they want to remain the alpha. And that's where the issue is.
Wow. I hope our viewers are listening out there. Um, this is an avenue for us to learn from the mistakes that we make. The family is a very important unit in the society, and if anything goes wrong with our family, certainly our society will go bad. And that is why we've been seeing a lot of cases of domestic violence because it starts with an innocent spark of a slap or being angry with a spouse that is not checked, and it gets worse and worse and becomes a vicious cycle that leads to killing. And that is the worst of situation that could happen to anybody. And we don't want that to happen to any of our children. We don't want that to happen to any of our relatives. And I really want to commend Ms. Stephanie for being part of this. And anyway, we still have a lot of questions to
Did
ask.
we talk about the children
Well,
looking at the
we haven't talked about this. We're getting there. We're getting there. The next question is, and I think this is very important, is why do you think so many the victims remain silent,
oh, because you're embarrassed.
embarrassed?
You're embarrassed because you have an image,
Okay.
and let's say you and your husband all lovey-dovey, and
Hmm.
and you showing off, and you're on Facebook, and oh, my hon, my
Mm.
babe, and
Taking
you want
selfie and all of that.
everybody to
Mm.
believe that you have this perfect
Perfect.
relationship,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's far from being. But because you have to do all these things to pretend in the eye of the public
Mm.
that everything is fine, and we must envy this couple because they have everything going for them. It's a power couple. Now, in that situation, if there's abuse going on, then you don't want anybody to know.
To know.
You're embarrassed because of where you work. You're embarrassed because your family might say, oh, I told you not to marry him.
Mhm.
You're embarrassed because it's upsetting that you pretended, and now you don't know how to deal with it. So you go in a corner and like, oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. He just slapped me this time.
Mhm.
It's okay. Or maybe he just raised his voice because he didn't want what I cooked. But then he raised his voice today, and then tomorrow I do something else that aggravates him further, and he realizes that raising my voice is not doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to slap her.
Mhm.
I'll slap her. And she'll listen. And then the following day or the following week or month,
Mhm.
he decides, you know what, this slap is not
It's not
working.
working. Let me,
Let me punch her now.
yeah, do something more
And it keeps escalating
serious.
because she continues to aggravate him
Mhm.
without understanding why he's reacting like that.
Mhm.
And then the next thing you know, this is a whole chain of events. So it starts with a scream, and then a slap, and then a punch, and then he'll want to see her blood. There's something nice about seeing blood coming out when you're angry. You feel satisfied. You know what? She's going to see it, and she's going to remember
Yeah.
what she did, and she wouldn't do it again, and there I win. But what happens? You're scarring her outside, inside. You're making a mess of things. Now she's hating you every time she looks at that. She doesn't remember what she did.
So a vicious cycle is
Exactly.
created.
So this is
Doesn't get
causing,
better.
it doesn't, it just gets worse.
Worse.
It because nobody's going to counsel him.
Yeah, that's true. I Let me just share this experience, my viewers. As a doctor, I have seen cases like this. I had a case of a 37-year-old female who came to the hospital with multiple bruises, and she has healed wounds from the past. And she came to the hospital with a laceration to the head, a deep laceration. We had to do a CT scan to be sure she didn't have a brain injury. And thank God she didn't have no brain injury. However, after being treated at the hospital, I asked her this question. I said, "How long it's been going on?" Something inside of me tells me that that's been going on for a good while. And she said, "This is the first time this is happening." I said, "Who first time when you meet, first time this man is hitting you? She said yes. She had a sister right there standing close to her because she was facing me and the sister was standing. So the sister was winking an eye to me, with an
The
indication that,
signal.
that is not true. So I immediately broke the silence. I said, "Why are you doing that?" I asked the sister. I was very mad because, I mean, you are helping. You're helping because you're winking an eye at me, telling me that that's not true. What she's saying is not true. Instead of coming out bold enough to tell me that is not true, you are trying to protect her, trying not to let her understand that she's talking to me. I mean, there's a problem. So I got very angry. I called the sister. I said, "Tell your sister what you're telling me." And then she said, "Doc, this is not the first time." I said, "How long this has been going on?" And the sister said, "It's been going on for like 3 years." Then I said to her, "If a man hits you once, he's going to hit you again and again and again, right? No matter what the situation is, you have to report that to somebody very close to you." And that incident was not reported. I can report it, the incident. She has to report that incident because she's the one who is, suffering it. So it goes a long way to tell us how many persons out there are, silently dying, you know, and relationships are toxic, but they just live in those relationships because they don't have where to go. And that brings me to the last question. Why do people return back? Why do women return back to an abusive relationship?
Women return because of children, because of embarrassment.
Hmm.
They return because they're not mentally capable to say, I am strong and I can get out of this situation. I will seek help. They don't have that. All they're thinking about is going back home to save the children. But you're going home and the children are hurting because they're seeing you being hurt. And they don't have that understanding. So in that situation, they need to, okay, so an addict has to first admit that he's an addict.
Sure.
So an abused woman has to first admit that, you know what, I'm being abused and I'm better than this. I can get out of this. She has to believe in herself that, you know what, I can get out of this. I can seek help. At some point this would be over.
Hmm.
But they don't have that. So they go back home. Maybe they don't have a job.
Hmm.
Maybe they're not, or they have a job, they're not, the earning power is not enough to go out, rent a house, take your kids with you. Maybe she's afraid of him,
Hmm.
the husband, because he's influential. He knows the police, he knows the court
Legal
system,
system.
and so you know you have no way of winning. So you decide, you know what, I'm going to go home, I'm going to stay quiet, and I'm going to brace myself for the next explosion.
Wow.
So that's
That's pretty sad.
it is.
Do you think the legal system is very slow in advocating for justice for these people or these victims, or you think, well, those who come out and say they have been victimized, do you think because they don't get justice at the end of the day, many of them don't get justice, and that could be like an encouragement for those who perpetrate these kinds of behavior. Because if they see, okay, she didn't get justice, and the other man say, well, if you want to go to the police, you can go to the police because at the end of the day, it's going to end up like the other person who didn't get justice. So why do you think there's this bottleneck
Okay.
process in
Do,
the governmental system?
okay, so we cannot just say that it's the government's fault that this
Yeah.
is happening. In order for a woman to go and report this, she first has to have the mindset that, you know what, I'm going to go all the way with it.
Mhm.
They get upset in the moment and they say, you know what, I'm going to make a report. I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to get the police report and
Yeah.
I'm going to go all the way. And you know what happens? They go in the court and they stand up there and he will give them the eyes, the sad eyes that made her fall in love with him from the beginning
From the
of
beginning.
time.
Mhm.
And she'll see him and she'll be like, oh my gosh, we have children together. We came through so much. Maybe I'll let this one ride. So when the magistrate now says, you know what? Do you want to continue with the matter? No, your
Oh,
worship.
God.
Because they're seeing, because the man is already playing his role as in, oh, you know, I still love you,
Mhm.
without saying it. She knows his mannerisms and the way he's standing. He looks remorseful, and maybe we can go home and things will be
Things will be
okay. I
better.
love this man so much. I'm going to show him how much I love him. No, your worship, I don't want to continue with this. And the magistrate will now say, okay, I'll put you on an order to keep the peace. She can put both parties on this order to keep the peace. You know what? So in the order, and they go home and they forget the order, the peace, and whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
But I'm saying that women will go all the way to court, right up to the thing to say, you know what, I'm continuing, I'm going all the way through, and
Yeah.
they break down. So you cannot blame the justice
That's the
system
system.
on this, that you're not getting justice for making a report and exposing yourself that I was a victim of abuse and whatever and whatever. You're the one who stood up there and said, I don't want to continue. So
Mm.
we can't blame the
Of
government,
course.
we can't blame justice.
Mhm.
But this goes back to the
The
mindset
mindset. Mm.
and being counseled and
Do you think um, there could be an ending situation to domestic violence? Given all these questions and then answers that we have, I mean, our audience can also testify. If we can bring an end to domestic violence, if men can go through counseling, because some of this behavior might also be men who are mentally challenged, that require some men who have mental illness, I would say. They might look actually very fine, look nice, but they might be going through a lot. We live in a society where men go through a lot, and they're sometimes the silent behavior of the system towards men can also aggravate the behavior of men, because it begins to, I'm a man too, and I understand it can be really, really challenging for men in our society today. And handling family and going through a lot of issues can cause mental challenges for men. Do you think that there has to be a system put out there for men to really go for mental checkup, you know?
that's a tough question because the way men behave is learned. It's what they learn from their father, their grandfather, their uncle, and how they see other male figures handle situations.
Situations?
They take pattern from it, but they don't think into the future. What happened when they handle the situation like that? What happened when he slapped Auntie Gladys?
Hmm.
What was the repercussions after
After
that?
that.
No, he doesn't think that. He's just thinking in the moment, you know what? I'm going to slap this woman tonight. I'm going to handle it the way they handle it because they're looking good. The relationship is looking
Do
fine.
you think slapping a woman is something that was pre-thought or something that happens spontaneously at the moment?
Some men plan. Some
Plan to
men
do it?
plan over
Because
a
it could
period of
be
time. He's
something that
like,
is
I'm
spontaneous, like
talking to her and she's not listening, and I'm screaming and I'm carrying on and she's still not listening to me. I have to make,
an impact.
an impact.
Okay.
And there's no impact like a slap. So He starts there.
You ever got one before?
Yes.
Oh, sorry to
Um,
hear that.
okay, so, well, I um I grew up in a karate school.
You're a karateka?
I have a black belt in
Wow, oh my
Taekwondo
God.
and karate. So I have received a few blows, so I know what a slap is like.
Okay, no, I'm
So
not
it
talking
might
about
have been
that
by
slap.
accident,
That
but
I'm
I
not talking
know.
about that slap. I'm
But
talking about,
slap from a man that is angry,
yeah.
yes, that would spin your head
And you
and
did
make the
not
back
go
hair
through those
hurt.
cutters to bring him down. You're a
I
black belt
was in
holder.
shock. I was in
Okay.
shock. That's what happens. So you're prepared and you do all these things, and you know you're this weapon, and you don't expect your partner to react like that.
That went that way.
And that is what gives you the like, what the hell is going on here? Do I have to now fight?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to be a rumble
Mm-hmm.
for him to stop?
Yeah.
And that was my first thing to, you know what, if you slap me now, you might try to punch me later. And,
Okay.
because you have to show that you're the alpha, because you know that I have a black belt. You have to show that you can do damage and you don't have a black belt.
Okay.
So, it starts with that. But I made a decision that this man is not going to slap me again. And I put him out because I saw what the future could be.
Mm-hmm.
I put him out, and then he started stalking me and trying to embarrass me on the road, trying to put me in a position where I would retaliate. He would talk to me and be recording.
Hmm.
So when I respond, you have me behaving like this complete lunatic by myself,
Okay.
but you aggravated it. So there's situations where men aggravate women to get evidence, to
Mm-hmm.
maybe take away the child or children,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have women doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ms. Stephanie, for this beautiful input. We're looking forward to many more episodes of domestic violence, and we will be talking about other issues that affect society, issues that range from, of course, domestic violence to political issues to, issues that are really, really vital and important for the growth of our society. And we want you, the audience, to make the judgment. We want to bring this to everybody's doorstep that domestic violence is a real thing. Sexual abuse is also real. We see that happening every now and then. And we are encouraging potential fathers, mothers, and parents to take heed towards building a better and a more beautiful society, the Guyanese society. We're looking forward to the next episode on conversations that matter, Guyana's Talk Space. Thank you very much for tuning in.